Hello, and welcome to Be Your Own Advocate. So, today we have a really interesting show. We're going to talk just myself and Isaiah. And one of the main thing that we're going to talk about is posture and the spine and how it is the central functioning system for how we think and our emotions and how we feel and our physicality and even aspects of standing up straight or slouching and the shoulders, pulling the shoulder, all the aspects of the physical. And then, and Isaiah has some interesting movements, called movements, that he's going to show us that make a difference. Because I personally believe, especially as I've gotten older, how important it is to maintain the health of the spine because it really, everything goes in and out of there one way or another. So that's what I wanted to talk to Isaiah about today, because his knowledge of that is so expansive that we're going to be able to get a lot of information that then you can bring back into your own life and take what you can. But even if you do some of the movements and the simplicity of some of the things, it's going to make a difference. That's what I think. What do you think, Isaiah?
I agree. Yeah, posture is a double pathway. One is a reflection of our emotional, mental, energetic state, physical state, but also an indicator of, what's possible. It's like our
Mm.
postures are embodied belief system. It's an accumulation of protection that determines where the posture goes. I want to start with a definition of posture just so we kind of have a clear
Okay.
sense of what that is. We all have different ideas of it,
Yeah.
but the one I like is the posture is the dynamic, efficient, stable position of body in space that allows for optimal movement while minimizing stress on anatomical structures. So really an efficient place, and more so than like trying to create a straight position. It's a dynamic process of the nervous system finding efficiency, and we can help facilitate that process. And we're going to talk about that today.
Oh, efficiency. That's an interesting word to use with the spine and posture. But I suppose that when it's not, when it's deficient, then that's would show up in all kinds of areas, especially, I guess, the what is it called when the spine
Collapse.
collapses?
Yeah,
Yeah. And
collapse
it makes
versus, decompress. So we
mhm,
decompress and open in the posture, or
or compress
collapsing.
and
Yeah,
compress.
compress.
Yeah. And so and I don't think it's related so much to age, like I just said. I see it's everyone. And when I see people with their shoulders forward and it's like they're protecting their heart themselves, that can start at age 10
Yeah. Oh,
where
yeah.
they
Early. Most for our postural habits, I really think it's set some in utero, some in early childhood development, but a lot of it's like 2 to 5. Those are the
really.
times when we're mirroring the movement patterns and emotions of our parents at really high
uh,
level,
yeah.
and then learning about the world through that mirroring and then starting to differentiate. But the emotional state of our childhood really determines the foundation of our posture. How much protection do we need to have in our environment as children versus how comfortable do we feel how safe do we feel? It determines a lot about how we set up our postural dynamics.
That young, that's very interesting. I wouldn't think that, but yeah.
Yeah, watch any 5-year-old walking next to their parent from behind. Just watch them. Like
Okay.
the movement pattern is almost identical every time. It's fascinating.
Yeah, yeah. And so then when you're young, like you were saying, it just determines their outlook on life, and you can find that there. So when they're that young, if you start creating healthy habits or postures or movements, then through the spine, and then
Yeah,
you can change their outlook.
definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah, and vice
interesting,
and
right?
vice versa, right? We start feeling into the limitations we have mentally
Yes.
and emotionally, and we start opening up and working through that, being vulnerable and making habits that kind of go against that tendency to protect, and all of a sudden posture starts feeling a lot better, starts reflecting a more open nervous system. One thing I
Hmm.
like to think about is It's not about straight and rigid posture. It's a
Yeah.
dynamic balance of neuromuscular activity. Does your nervous system, can it balance the forces and deliver equal force to opposing muscles and help you be efficient? Or is it offline on one side, hyper on another, and then we're in major imbalance, you know?
Yeah. And how do you determine that? Like if you go to a body worker, they're going to determine it. But if it's just you, how do
Yeah.
you determine? What are some of the signs that would let you know where you are on that scale?
Asymmetries that show, one side of your body's like really strong and stable versus the other. Maybe the
Oh yeah,
foot,
and
maybe
mine,
the
my,
hip.
and this, I look in the mirror and one side is usually up. So that would be like a sign that anatomically there's something that my spine is adjusting to.
Yeah,
Is
like the most common thing would be if say my right shoulder's dipped down and my left is higher,
yeah.
then that right side, usually the right foot is externally rotated out to the side, and
Hmm.
therefore the hips lower and the shoulders following it.
Wow, that's
Right?
right.
So
It's
there's
from head to toe.
inhibition, but also just a pattern of collapsing on that right side. And so the challenging part is this, part of it is us correcting the pattern, becoming aware of it and correcting the movement pattern and the posture itself. But underneath that is the nervous system that's trying to protect itself and organize ourselves in a way it thinks it needs to,
Yeah.
based on past experiences. So
Hmm.
it's really just about rewriting that in the moment so we can have a conversation with the nervous system so then the muscles can deliver efficiently to both tissues.
Yeah, and I
Um,
would think that like circulation, that a compressed spine
yeah.
would be really impacting circulation, which is right, all the major organs in the heart, so that that's not flowing correctly. So I know you have positionings to
Yeah.
help us. So I'm
Good. We
ready.
do it. Okay, so I mean, we just want flow. Ultimately, if we're efficient and we have good posture, we're in flow.
Right.
Blood flowing, energy flowing, emotion flowing,
Blood flowing,
positive
energy flowing, emotion flowing.
hormones being produced. Like I'll give you an example. If
Okay.
we curl forward and kind of hunch just a little bit like this, head forward position, and we drop the shoulders and add that tension,
Hmm.
this position versus this position,
Hmm.
that little bit is 20-25% more testosterone being produced right here.
Hmm.
Just that little bit, right? That's a significant
You
shift.
didn't even move your shoulders. You just put your head up, right?
Yeah, I'm collapsed and then I'm not rigid, but I'm lifted. That is a significant difference in the hormonal output. Um, yeah. So what we're gonna
How
do is
why is that like how does that relate to the hormones? I'm just wondering. Is there a reason or is it just does?
I I don't know exactly other than the fact that yeah, I don't
Because it
know.
opens the spine maybe like endorphins. I don't
Yeah, I
know.
think I think it stimulates, like this in this position says I need to protect. The body's like, oh, I got to reserve
Hmm.
energy. I've got to hide in a sense.
Yeah, I'm shy. Yeah.
This
Hmm.
position's saying I'm comfortable, I'm open, I'm clear, I'm on the ready. I'm ready,
Hmm.
Not
Yep. And then
stressed, but
like
I'm attentive.
a person's when you do that, you immediately think differently, right? I did
Yeah.
just now. I
Yeah.
immediately felt like braver.
Yeah. Clear, right?
Yeah.
And this is a big thing too, the head forward position with our tech devices and stuff. Every
Hmm.
degree that we are leveraged forward off the center of our body
Hmm.
requires that much more tension to form in the backside to protect our tissues, our spine, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
So if you guys are willing, you want to try this, we're gonna stand.
Hmm.
See if I can get to a place that you can see well. I feel like I'm really small in that box, but can you see me?
I
Yeah.
can see you.
Okay. All right.
Hmm.
So we're gonna start with our feet together.
Hmm.
Bend the knees a little bit,
Hmm.
and then step apart hip width. Keep the knee
Hmm.
bend. You want to do it with me?
Mm-mm.
No. Okay.
Because I have pajama pants on.
That's good. We tuck the pelvis a little bit. It's almost, you're not trying to tuck too actively like
Hmm.
this. You're just
Hmm.
trying to let your butt fall. So
Hmm.
soften the knees a touch, let the butt fall. And then
Hmm.
we reach the hands up like you're going to hug someone.
Hmm.
And then relax those thumbs. Let the thumbs relax and the
Okay.
arms relax.
Mm-hmm.
And then stand almost straight and then bend the knees and just find that place that feels like the most relaxed, efficient position with your knee bend as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just breathing, holding, spending a couple minutes here, assessing the body, right? This is standing meditation. We're just giving the nervous system a chance to feel itself and get feedback. So while you're here, tilt your body forward on your toes a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
and then slowly rock back on your heels. And really get clear on where exactly is the center point of your balance,
Mm-hmm.
all the way up through the body. Maybe straighten the knees a touch more, keep a slight bend, and
Mm-hmm.
just find that still point, that place you can feel. It's like if I lean too far forward, oh, the whole back of my body gets tense because it's got to compensate for that imbalance. I
Mm-hmm.
go back, a little bit on the heels too much, my whole front side of my body lights up trying to protect from falling back. So there's a
Mm-hmm.
midpoint right there. And the point of this exercise is to develop awareness, gain efficiency, understand where the tension is in your body and start to address it through relaxation. But mainly by being in that midpoint, you start to feel instant relaxation, right? As soon as you find that pocket
Yeah.
that's most efficient, everything starts
Mhm.
relaxing.
Even sitting down, I felt it,
Yeah,
just when, so, but, and it's also interesting because like this positioning is so like hug nurturing,
yeah,
it's like a nurturing energy that, comes in at the same time of, being cared for.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Hmm.
good. Caring for ourselves, right?
Caring for ourselves. Yeah.
The body feels and moves a lot better when it's safe. The primary thing we need to do is not more. So many of us are driven towards the best athletic performance, the more, 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 more.
Hmm.
But a lot of times the body doesn't need more, it needs less. So it's about reducing inputs that are harming us and staying present and letting the body start to give us proper feedback. And that
Yeah.
process of
Yeah.
self-regulation is really where it's at because it's a
Hmm.
brain-led, everything we're talking about is a brain-led conversation. It's subconscious, it's body, it's nervous system, it's brain.
Hmm.
We can do
Like
all
you're
kinds of
safe, you're loved,
physical
you're in balance.
postural manipulation, but the reality is the nervous system determining that. So best to tap in the nervous system and let it regulate itself and then find that new position.
Find the balance in the middle
Yeah.
there. And
Efficiency, relaxation, right?
mhm. And the blood circulation then can go into the when you have the spine and you have all the nerves and you have all the tissue around it. So when the blood moves through there, it's feeding all the cells and the nutrients, and at the same time, removing, stimulating the lymph to remove the waste that might be collecting around there. Does waste
100%.
collect? Does waste collect around there around the spine?
Yeah, for sure. The lymphatic system runs parallel with the blood system, and
Mhm.
it's the sewer system, and it just dumps toxins into the blood throughout the whole system. And if that's stunted, yeah, you're not draining those toxins very efficiently. And
Right, and that
then
can
you get a you get
affect
a
like
you get a
intercellular
log jam,
communication, right? Like when the
100%. Yeah,
yeah.
full log jam forms in there. We start to have stagnant blood, stagnant energy, pain, and dysfunction.
It's
So
amazing that like just that one, two, three, four of the issues are all eliminated. And even if you just did it for 3 minutes, it would
yeah,
be
just a few minutes. I mean, people, try it. It's very simple, but you might be surprised by what you start to feel when you give your body a chance to regulate itself.
mhm,
Okay, and then the second piece to that, I'll go this way, is the head position. So a lot of us, I know my past tendency was to lift the chin a bit and kind of disengage. So the
mhm.
front gets disengaged, the back's too tight here in this
Okay.
position.
Yeah.
In this disengagement, our nervous system is like pretty much offline. We're not operating an efficient level. But if we bring the chin down and bring the eyes directly on the horizon,
Hmm.
then you're not stressed, but you're ready, right? There's a little bit of a fighter stance, like a
Ready.
boxer stance.
Yeah.
I'm ready. My eyes are
Hmm.
directly in front of me. I'm
Hmm.
locked in. There's length in my back and my spine and neck, right? So two things. One, chin down, eyes on the horizon more,
Hmm.
and then lift the sternum up. Imagine the sternum here is like a headlights. And if it's
Hmm.
pointed down, the best thing we can do. We don't need to, if we try to pull the shoulders back and straighten up, but this is still pointing down, we're in conflict, right? That's
Mhm.
not efficiency. It's not good posture. So
Right.
good posture is going to come from lifting the rib cage and then let everything hang off of that lifted rib cage.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times, so many different things we can try to do, but all we have to do is lift the rib cage and then hang things off that lift.
Hmm.
Yeah. So if you
Yeah.
touch the sternum, lift, hang everything off of it, bring the chin down, eyes on the horizon, you are in a really good
Oh,
starting
yeah.
position. Okay, we're
Yeah.
going to add one more piece. So
Mhm.
we're lifting rib cage, dropping the chin a little bit, straight forward, and then I want you to make fists and punch down towards your knees or your ankles
Mhm.
and try to take any excess tension in the shoulders and drive it to the floor and flex in the opposite direction.
Okay, so sternum out, head straight, eyes straight ahead, fists down.
Yep. And then we're just breathing, squeezing the fists, shoulders back, down. And we're trying to take those traps actively longer and longer and longer away from the ears.
Mm,
And then after a while of holding that position, you get a little fatigued, then relax the excess tension, but keep the length.
okay. Yeah.
What you'll find is as you punch down and activate that, it actually creates decompression in the spine.
Yeah, I could see, I can feel the difference.
Yeah, starts to lift and space out the vertebra based on that tension, as opposed
Yeah.
to this normal tension where we're up in here and everything gets really limited, closes in on the spine. So
Uh-huh.
okay, and then last little cue, your feet are hip width apart. We're pulling the feet together into the floor towards each other. Bend the knees to touch. Pull the feet together actively. Punch down towards your knees.
Uh-huh.
Chin down, eyes on the horizon. Sternum lifted. Hold that position for 30 seconds to a minute with an active squeeze of the legs, active punch down, eyes on the horizon, ribs lifted. When you're done, just take a breath and relax everything and notice how that feels. See if you're more in a center point that feels more efficient.
Yeah. And I feel more focused. I feel like a focused mental energy and I feel like confident.
Yeah.
I
Confident
can
and
catch
alert.
this.
Ready. Yeah. Not stressed, but ready. Right.
Ready.
Yeah.
Ready. Yeah. And
So good posture delivers that electrical impulse to the brain and keeps us in a ready, open, alert, good state.
yeah,
Right.
yeah, absolutely. It's so interesting that the way the body is set up, that it controls that's that core. Like even when I am teaching or whatever, and I'm talking about breathing into the core, that um like
Central channel.
yeah, that when I breathe into it, like just even the mental exercise of breathing into it, and breathing out, but keeping that. I think like even with this one, the breathing in and out, like if you're thinking, you're adding the thought of being nurtured, when you're doing that, and and the other one of being like confident, like ready. I think that's what's the word you said, that you're ready. You're just ready for. You're looking straight ahead. You're looking forward. You're being aware. You're being cautious if
Yeah, there's
needed.
like you're ready in that center point, right? It's not, you
Yeah,
haven't already engaged forward. You're
right.
not stuck in the past. You're just present and ready, active.
Present. Yeah, that's a big thing is like, when I'm talking to people or people are talking to me about that concept of being present, and I think that it's hard to grapple with because you're like, I am present, but you're not really, because you kind of can be all over the place sometimes. But when you do an exercise like that one, when you're standing and you're looking ahead and you're being focused, I think that that's such a positive way of being present. Like you don't have to do anything else. You do that, and that makes you present. So you don't have to figure it out. You don't have to
Yeah,
figure it out.
100%. Yeah, and that like breadth of the nervous system, like just feeling relaxed in nervous system because you've aligned and stacked yourself in a way that can start to happen. We can
Hmm.
start to decompress, right? There's greater trust, greater safety in that place. And ultimately, if we want more mobility, everyone wants to get more flexible, right?
Yeah,
In order to gain mobility, we have to have stability. As soon as you're stable, the body will grant you all the mobility you want. But
right.
if it's not stable, it will tighten up like crazy and it will continue to build until we get that signal correct.
Yeah. And even though I didn't stand up, I was doing the exercises sitting down, and they were still like effective. So even if
Yeah.
you're stuck at a desk and you just take a few minutes to do that, if for what, if you're in an office setting and it's easier for you to do it there,
Yeah.
it's still amazingly
Yeah.
effective, I guess.
And you can
When
think about just envision your vertebrae stacking all the way up, right? And
yeah. Uh-huh.
once you get in that efficient place, you're just breathing and expanding and lifting through the top of your head, lifting
Hmm.
everything up and trying to decompress every vertebra little by little all the way up to the top.
Yeah.
But if we don't have that, if we're leading it just, through habits and compression, just down in, we're losing electrical, connectivity and circulation, blood flow, and so many things.
It's so
So
interesting too, like each um in the spine, each section, what would
yeah,
like, you know,
segment.
N5, N4, they all have these identifying numbers because they relate to different things. Like in acupuncture, that might be partly what they are using that knowledge for.
Well, those are those are points of tension with or along the meridian lines from the organs down to your fingers and toes. But the vertebrae themselves are just numbered 1 through 7 cervicals, and
One,
then
two,
one through
seven.
1 through 12 thoracic, and then 1 through 5 lumbar. So
Hmm.
each vertebra is named.
Do they
And then
attach properties to each vertebra, or basically they're just talking about how they align?
I think it's just position, just order, on
Hmm.
that level. Yeah.
Only when you add in the meridians, then that's when it gets like, oh, this goes to the lungs, this goes to the heart, all things
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
But I think one thing that's really underneath all this conversation is really like tr- those cues I gave you can be really helpful to start to get a sense of how much stress you're holding, where the tension is, and how you can find a more buoyant,
Yeah.
lifted place.
Yeah.
But ultimately, the posture again is reflecting our protective and programmed responses. Our past is held in our postural tendencies. So
Hmm.
it's not a simple job, to correct posture.
No.
But we have to incrementally start to engage that dynamic process because otherwise we're going
Mhm.
to suffer. There's no two
Yeah.
ways about it. If
Yeah.
we don't learn to pull that force back and manage it in the soft tissue and communicate it through the nervous system, then we're going to suffer in our joints.
What do you know like diet or supplements or anything like that? Because I know calcium. Okay, all right, that's kind of a known calcium, magnesium to strengthen the bone of the spine. You have any other thoughts about that? About how,
I think diet plays a much bigger role than we realize. I mean,
yeah.
the metabolic knock-on effects of what we eat are significant in terms of posture, bone density, muscle strength, brain connectivity, cell transfer, everything. But I think that the one, like you said, magnesium, calcium is a really good one to look at. So every cell has a magnesium calcium pump in order to balance that cell.
Yeah.
Calcium calcifies, right? Sequesters and magnetizes everything to it. So we become calcified. Arthritis is calcification, right? But magnesium disperses and softens tissues. So it goes the opposite way. So, and we're generally deficient because we use all our magnesium because we're stressed.
Right.
So we got to add more in our diet and we don't make our own minerals. So we do need minerals. I think that's one
Mineral.
of the things I would say for most people. If I'm in a deficient state and I'm taking supplements, it still takes energy to break down the supplements. And there's a picture in which no supplement will be very supportive to someone that's in a really deficient state,
Oh, okay.
um, or most won't because it's too much work. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's not efficient, right?
Mm-hmm.
But minerals are needed to balance all the cells and cell function. And when we're stressed, we eat up minerals like crazy. So we really need more minerals, and it's something that we don't produce ourselves.
I like
Um,
algae. I like the minerals that are in algae. I think that they're so
yeah.
compatible with the body. Yeah,
Most of the world, oak trees, chickens, you name it, like they produce their own minerals. They have an actual organ that's delivering minerals to them. We don't have that. So we've got to supplement those.
yeah. That's really important for like the healthy aging and the bones and the just staying upright because I think that as you get older, the concept of staying upright transfers into, the um, healthy aging, but also a mind attitude that's saying, I am,
Yeah.
healthy. I am moving forward. I am still upright.
It's really, really, really important, honestly. I mean, if
Yeah,
once we curl in our spine and we get compressed,
yeah,
every single nerve that is entrapped in that
yeah.
compression is diminishing voltage to your organs and therefore diminishing your overall wellness.
I like
So,
that voltage to my
yeah,
organs. Yeah.
I mean, you can skip the yoga, skip the weights, skip all the stuff and work on postural dynamics and really
Mhm.
getting efficient in that process and probably benefit more than most anything else we could
I
do.
think so too. I just see it, I just watch people all the time. I'm such a people watcher, but I watch the way that they're walking and standing, and then I look at their face to see how they're feeling and attitude. This is like it's such a telltale sign of everything. And the fact that, even with just what you showed us today, how you can be efficient in affecting it in such a positive way. It's not like it doesn't cost any money,
No.
it doesn't take a long time. You don't need any equipment. It's just bring your mindset to taking care of yourself. So it's great.
Can I
So
add one more piece?
yeah, of course.
That is breathing because there's a diaphragm muscle here, right?
Yeah.
That's
Mm-hmm.
under the rib cage.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
it's like it's a dome. So it's domed up here. As I breathe in,
Mm-hmm.
it's making space for my lungs to fill up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
doming down, pressing the organs down. As I
Mm-hmm.
exhale, pushing the air out.
Yeah.
So if you can breathe in that diaphragm, a lot of times we breathe in through the nose, which is great. Breathing through the nose is great, except when you have a lot of tension in your SCMs and front neck and these higher muscles, and we breathe like shallow or fast through our nose, all these muscles engage, right?
Okay.
This engagement of the upper muscles and shallow breathing is what blocks us from going deeper in the lung and really opening up the diaphragm and therefore reducing pressure all around the neck, chest, head, shoulders. You
So
know?
in through the mouth, out through the mouth.
No, I mean, nose is generally what we want to breathe in. But
Okay.
for this process, you can use the mouth as a way to start to increase your ability to bring in more oxygen. So instead of, again, as you breathe in through the nose fast or shallow, we get these muscles engaged. So we're going to trick the body by breathing through the mouth in this example really slow. So imagine you're sipping through a straw and you're gonna exhale first and then sip in slow and make yourself like a balloon, all four directions behind the heart into the ribs, trying to expand as big an in breath as you can possibly get, and then relax the jaw and let it out. Okay, so we'll do one together, sipping in, slow and smooth. Try one more time, Isabel, with the mouth. I'm gonna sip through the mouth.
Yeah, I was sipping.
You were? Okay, I can see.
That's okay. I'll do again.
Really pulling it all in and then relaxing the jaw. Especially if you can not make a tense release, but just let the jaw hinge go. Let it fall out. So then the only thing we need to control is how much air we can get in.
Right.
If the inhalation becomes the focus, all kinds of stuff starts to reset. We're so focused on the exhalation and creating space from things we need to protect and
Yeah.
boundary and all
Mhm.
that stuff, and like push
Yeah.
away the pain, push away the discomfort. But what happens if we breathe into it instead? That's the question. So one more time, everyone take a really slow, full, big breath as you can. And then relax the jaw. And just noticing we're tricking those muscles. They're not engaged. We're using the belly and the diaphragm through the breath to expand, 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 expand. You should get much more air in for most people than they're used to. And then the relaxation that follows that bigger breath in just starts to like, oh, feel really good.
And then that moves the circulation and calms the nerves at the same time, right?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
the diaphragm then relates to the throat. It starts to calm down sympathetic stress
Oh, yeah.
that's built up and starts to reset that.
Hmm.
So then we start recognizing, okay, the tone that I'm in control of and in relationship with is the primary thing I need for wellness. All this perspective we have in Western society, look out here, you get this, that, blah, blah, blah. No, we need to regulate our nervous system.
They should teach this in school to the young ones, like you were saying. They just
It's
set these patterns and
it's unbelievable. We don't learn about posture, how to walk, poop, sit, stand, communicate our feelings. It's
mhm.
unbelievable that we're at
Yeah,
this level of human development and
yeah,
evolution, and we
yeah,
haven't brought this in systemically. It's wild.
yeah, it is. Well,
Well,
that was great. That was a lot of information. That was such great information. I can't wait to get it out there and for
yeah.
people and get feedback. I'd love to get feedback from people and tell us what they were experiencing, what they were thinking, what they were
Yeah.
seeing when they were doing it. That's great.
Good. If you can, guys, try to do the things we did today for at least a 2 minute process, and then just check and see how you feel. Give a chance to feel,
Each one for two
to get,
minutes.
yeah, to get used to it, to feel what you feel, and then notice how
Mhm.
you feel after.
Mhm.
So without
This
judging,
one's my favorite.
yeah, I love it. It's
Yeah.
such a simple and powerful thing. Guy I've worked with a bit is he trains like high level athletes. And so many times he finds that in order to get to the next level of performance, they need to move into a standing meditation and start assessing their body and
Yeah.
get in touch with the awareness,
Mhm.
not the performance trick.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. I mean, like it's just so much there.
Yeah.
Um, well, thank you. I say this was a fun one. I like when it's just you and I because you have such a wealth of information and that was great. So thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for
Yeah.
being a co-host on Be Your Own Advocate and
Yeah, I love
discussing.
you. Appreciate you. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah. All right. We'll talk soon.
Okay.
Thank you.